Every 26 seconds, a student drops out of school. That's over 1 million dropouts per year. Dropouts are 8 times more likely to end up in jail, costing our country $90 billion annually. Carlos was on his way to becoming one of these statistics. According to Carlos, if it wasn't for Synergy Academies, he would be dead or in jail. In fact, Carlos said that Synergy saved his life. I'm Dr. Meg Polysock, CEO of Synergy Academies. Our free public charter schools are located in a tough neighborhood of South LA where 8 out of 10 students are below grade level. Yet, within a few short years, our students have gone from the bottom 10% to the top 10% of all students statewide. Take Carlos, for instance. When Carlos first arrived as a 6th grader, he was reading 2 years below grade level. After working with Synergy's award-winning educators, Carlos soon rose to the top of his class. Carlos is now a senior in high school, is student body president, takes advanced placement classes, and he is on track to graduate from high school and enter college. Over the past 12 years, Synergy schools have garnered numerous state and national awards, including being named the best urban elementary school in America by the National Center for Urban School Transformation and a best high school by U.S. News and World Report. Even though we operate some of America's best public schools, we want to have an even greater impact. Not by opening more and more charter schools, but by sharing our best practices with existing schools throughout the country. Our vision is that every school in America will become a great school. This is where we need your help. With a $50,000 initial investment, we can create a first-of-its-kind collaboration between charter public schools and traditional district schools. These funds will pay for trainers, materials, and supplies for joint school training sessions and hands-on workshops for teachers and school leaders. Why Synergy? Well, Synergy is not only a charter school organization, but it was started by and still led by a group of former Los Angeles Unified School District teachers. So teaching and learning is at the core of who we are. And we believe that we can accomplish so much more if we all work together. Hence our name, Synergy. Synergy is already leading the way in collaborating with other educators. One example is our Let's Trade Secrets workshops, where educators from all walks of life share different perspectives, resources, and best practices around common educational issues. By working together with all schools, instead of competing with each other, we can decrease the dropout rate, decrease the prison rate, and make sure that kids like Carlos get the best education they can from a great school in their neighborhood. Thank you.
3 minutes, 21 seconds.
Whoa! Good.
Okay. So feedback on their model. Yes. Start with you, David.
I agree. Yeah, actually, that was a great pitch. Great pitch. Strong speaker. One of the things I think with charter schools, and I think this is a challenge, is I think why people see them potentially being impactful. I don't know if people necessarily see charter schools as innovation anymore. It's been an idea, it's been around for a while, it's been here. And so what is it specifically that Synergy is doing? And you got to this, the partnership with the charter and the district schools, but it came almost 3 minutes into the pitch. And so I think it's a challenge that you need to realize is let's get to the innovative part first. Because as soon as you start just talking about charter schools, people are like, okay, it's a charter school, it's great, it's a good charter school, great. Or it doesn't pop right away.
I'll continue on with what David said. Hi, Meg, how are you? A couple things. Absolutely agree with that comment. I think you've got to tell us what it is about you guys that makes you so excellent. and how you'll share that. How you'll share that in a way that, because so far you've taught us, so this is aspirational, I guess. It's a fantastic idea to teach the teacher, right? Love that. The second thing I'm going to say is, everybody shares a story about the no good that kid, who all of a sudden is like running America. And I gotta say, for me, I shut down on that story. Because it's not the average kid. So I'd rather hear a story about a kid who's excelling and struggling. And it would feel more real to me than the one-off kid who was sharp-bait and then went to Harvard, you know?
Right, Gator, yeah.
And maybe to that point, you could even speak to how you may have affected another school. You know, there may be something out there
Right.
where you've had leverageable impact that is there.
Let's share secrets.
Yeah, that's a cool title.
Hi, so, you know, education in this country is a topic of many conversation, and for me, you know, as I was sitting here, I'm like, how is this, there was nothing in there that I was really buying in that you were actually going to do what you're doing. Like, a lot of people are saying this kind of thing. So, how is it that you're going to partner with LAUSD? How can that possibly happen with $50,000?
Yeah, I was getting the David and Goliath thing in as well, between the two of you. And also, is there a stat that you can perhaps throw out about your graduation rates? I forgot, as soon as you go to grade 12?
Would you know?
Okay, so if there's a stat between your graduation rates versus LAUSD's graduation rates that basically tells Goliath that David knows how to do it better.
No, Goliath, I don't want to hear it.
Given the fact that we hear lots of stories about kids, the one kid that was saved, perhaps you can pitch this from the perspective of the teachers. Teachers need advocates. And I worked in an independent school and shared with other teachers that were in independent schools. We shared curriculum, we shared best practices, and 40 years later, we're still colleagues and still reflect back on how important that time was. And if you help teachers, you're helping even more kids than helping a kid or two. So you might twist that and consider that impact.
Interesting twist.
It occurred to me as you were making that comment that maybe you can relate this with an example. And we've all been in work situations where there's someone who hoards information and thinks that that's how they define their success versus collaborating and kind of opening up the books and sharing and everything. So maybe just a little bit of relatability there so that, you know, we can appreciate that this model, even in education, doesn't exist all the time.
And actually, I'm just going to add right on to hers, which is what relationships have you already built? So that who has already said, yeah, we can't wait for you to get more funding because these 10 schools can't wait for you to come in and teach their teachers.
Okay, final comment here, Alina.
Great pitch. It sounds too good to be true. So it seems like, why isn't this already happening? And I start to think it's almost unbelievable. So why isn't this happening? And then also the ask of $50,000 seems so small if we want to go to all of America.
So maybe that's a first step. Okay, great job.
Thank you.